You're gonna die here.
What's happened to your window?
And we're free.
Work it up now!
Don't move.
God, get us out of here! Hands up now!
My name is Roy Harper. I was convicted of armed robbery. Because I was a repeat offender, I got an 88-year sentence without parole. With nothing to lose, escape was always my priority. I broke out of Mississippi State Pen once and got caught trying a couple more times. That's why they transferred me to the prison's Supermax facility, a hellhole they call Unit 32.
Roy was the most violent, the most cunning, and the most devious inmate that I had come in contact with.
Hands out, open your mouth, wider, bend over.
Roy had escaped from basically every institution he ever been in. 32 was the ideal place for him.
There's a class of offenders whose crimes are so serious and whose behavior is so violent that there was a need to build Supermax prisons. What made Unit 32 different was the level of security that was present. You had the perimeter fencing with the razor wire, there were gun towers, and you had a perimeter patrol conducted by vehicles.
Oh, my Lord.
Most of the inmates were locked down 23 hours a day.
You looking at what? Oh, yeah. What are we here, boss? Welcome home, princess.
Within each building itself is a control tower, which permitted 360-degree vision of the individual cell units themselves.
Put your stuff down and turn around. Back away. Get comfortable. You're gonna die here.
I couldn't accept that. Because at Unit 32, I realized real quick, escape was a necessity. Around me, from dusk to dawn, were the most volatile and messed up people you'll ever meet.
Every day you entered there, you felt like, well, this could be my last day.
You
would have fires, you would have flooding, you would have inmates throwing feces on staff, you would have stabbings.
Between the inmates with mental problems and gang-related disturbances, the place was in chaos. It was like torture. I never got no peace of mind or sleep. I had to find a way to escape, or Unit 32 would destroy me. I needed something to fight the despair. I started working out 3 or 4 hours a day. It was like a drug that that lifted my spirits and got me thinking clearly. Being locked down almost 24/7, the first step of any escape had to be finding a way out of my cell. There was only one option. The window. It had a series of louvers, each one encased a cut-proof steel bar. Cutting them was out of the question, but the frame encasing the bars looked like it was made of a weaker metal. Covering it all was a heavy-duty wire grill, which I had to remove before I could do anything. The chances of getting through the window were small, but I was gonna try. A friend of mine in another part of the unit had a bit that fit the screws on the window grill. He gave it to me via a third party. To use it, I needed a handle. But with the guards always watching, there was no way I could make one. Somehow, I needed to block the guards' view. Then one day it hit me. Some inmates hung sheets over the front of their cells during shower time, when the corridors were real busy. So I did a test. I started doing the same thing to get the guards used to seeing it.
That's prohibited. Anything that would block the view into a cell by a security guard is prohibited by policy and by procedure.
Shower ran from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. most days. And my sheet hung there through these hours every day for probably 2 weeks straight. No one said nothing. I found a way to work on the window undetected. At last, I had a chance of busting out of this hellhole. With a sheet hanging over my cell front, the guards couldn't see in, so I could start making the tool I needed to escape. From the light fixture, I took 2 pieces of angle iron made of soft steel. Using broken blades from a pencil sharpener, I bored holes in each piece and fashioned an effective window screw tool. Now, I needed some hacksaw blades to try and cut through the window. To get them, I had to have faith that at least one guard will get lazy, or worse. By keeping my eyes open, I found the guy I was looking for.
Contraband gets into the prison any number of ways, including by guards and employees. Because the job is low wage, the type of employee that you get on board is prone to corruption.
After I'd approached the guy, he agreed to smuggle in some blades at $40 a piece. I finally had everything I needed to work on the window.
Welcome to the circus.
Thanks.
Around about this time, they moved John J.W. Woolard next door to me. I knew J.W. through a mutual friend. I liked the guy.
Hey, J.W., you hear me?
He just tried to bust out of the prison and almost made it.
Yeah, I hear you. How far did you get? Just outside the unit.
That impressed me. I'm not a team player. 2 men meant twice the risks.
Listen, I'm gonna bust out of here.
So when J.W. told me he was about to try to escape again...
Serious? Dead serious. I already got what I need.
It was like a punch in the stomach. I just thought, if he goes first, there's gonna be a shakedown.
Not close to doing the exact same thing.
I had no choice but to tell him about my plan.
We gotta do this thing together.
And agree to work together. We talked through every detail.
All right. First, cut through our cell window. Squeeze out at night. Gotta make use of that thin strip of shadow on the side of C block. Then, we gotta make it about 50 yards across floodlit territory, covered by gun towers and those cameras. And we gotta pray that the guards on duty that night are dozing. Use a hacksaw to cut through the first fence. Cut through the second fence.
The final hurdle would be getting past the perimeter patrol.
Free.
The plan bordered on insanity. We were desperate enough to try it. Now we were ready for action. We waited for shower time and got going. I could never see what J.W. was doing in the cell next door. I just had to hope he was being as careful as me. My heart was pounding. Any second, I expected a takedown team to come crashing into my cell. Cut out a section around the end of one of the louvers to see if the entire cut-proof bar could be removed. Bad news. The end was sunk into an equally cut-proof steel frame. I had another idea. The louver controls were in a metal box under the window. I could cut the top off, remove the outer panel, which was held in place by screws, and squeeze out under the bottom cut-proof bar.
JW.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to cut under these bars.
This would require a lot of work over a few days. Each stage done in unison by me and JW. I started cutting. I got real absorbed in the work. Suddenly, I heard,
Harper, take this sheet down.
my heart just stopped. I'm holding the hacksaw blade. The wire frame is off the window. And now they're gonna search my cell.
Harper, take it down now.
It was my nightmare come true.
Harper, take it down now.
They were yelling at me to take the sheet down. If I did, they'd see I'd been working on my cell window, but I had no choice.
Sorry.
Standing there was a warden. I thought, I gotta keep them looking at me, not the window. So I said,
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
any second I thought the warden was gonna say,
What's happened to your window?
but he didn't. He just turned and walked away. The relief I felt was overwhelming. I had to sit down and gather myself. Next day, as soon as shower started, JW and I were back at work. I was finally ready to lift the lid off the control box. I was thinking, boy, once this is off, I can bust out. But underneath was a nasty surprise. Another cut-proof bar. It was like a kick in the teeth. The plan wouldn't work. But then I got to thinking. Under the surprise cut-proof bar, I could see yet another bar. Thick and coarse looking, definitely low-grade steel. Under that was a lever control mechanism. All this could be cut, leaving a space large enough to squeeze through if we removed the panels on both sides of the control box. All the stuff in the control box came out faster than expected. After a while, there were just a few small cuts left on the inside panel. JW had gotten to the same point next door. All we had to do now was put everything back in place and choose our moment to bust out. I hid the cut marks, which extended beyond the wire screen, with a mix of coffee creamer and toothpaste. It was a perfect match. Two weeks after making the first cut, we were ready. We waited for the midnight count to finish. Now was the time. Everything had to be synchronized, or one of us would let the other down. I called out to JW. Step one. My heart was pounding, my senses on high alert. It took 10 minutes to get the steel plates off. I lowered them to the ground outside. I tied 2 improvised lengths of string to the sheet. They were gonna come in handy real soon. Step 2. I slipped on red pants we had smuggled in from death row. Without them, the white stripes on our uniforms would show up real clear under the floodlights. I made a dummy out of clothes and old newspaper. Damn, it looked real convincing. Step 3. I had a pack with a few supplies inside. I dropped it out the window. Then did the same thing with the strings attached to the sheet. A towel will cover the escape hole. Everything was done. I was nervous as hell, but we were past the point of no return. I squeezed out. It was tight, but it worked. pulled the sheets down. If they were up too long, the guards would get suspicious. It was hard to believe we were out of our cells. We blacked our faces with cream I made from burnt paper and hair grease.
Okay, you ready for this?
There was a minuscule shadow on the ground against the building. That was our path for now. We moved slow. Real slow. I knew fast movement was more likely to catch someone's eye.
Most of the officers are armed with semi-automatic carbines, and they are authorized to use deadly force if necessary to prevent an inmate escape or a breach of security.
It was now or never. We had to cross that stretch of totally exposed prison yard. A voice inside was saying, "Get up and run. Find some cover." But we kept crawling, yard by agonizing yard. Seemed to work. We reached the first fence alive.
Okay, ready?
I started sawing. Felt like it was taking forever. Once we slipped through, we were in the killing zone between the two fences. If we were caught here, bullets were gonna start flying. The second fence. We were almost out. Suddenly, we saw the perimeter patrol. I just thought, we're busted. How they missed us, I'll never know. I was thinking, this is it. Guard up in that tower. Do not look down now. We crept beyond the reach of the unit lights. I was still shaking from the adrenaline running through my body. Then it hit me. We'd just beaten the state's only Supermax.
As I was sitting in the office, the trays came off of the chair. And I was like,
Who didn't eat?
Roy Harbor.
they said, Roy Hopper. And immediately, a bell went off. If Roy Hopper had refused the meal, then I'm assuming he's on a hunger strike. So I'm going to try to find out what's the problem.
Harper.
Looking inside of the cell, you could actually see something that emulated a body. When I started rattling the bars and I didn't get any response, it began to eat at me, and I said, this is just not right.
I need the takedown team. Unit 32C, cell 73.
We gathered a takedown team, and we entered the cell. And we found the homemade dummy. You know, you've been in the system for X number of years and you never thought it would happen to you.
Jackson to control, Jackson to control. Lockdown, lockdown. Come with me, come with me. Woolard! Woolard, get up! Woolard, out of bed now!
We started shaking down the building, and that's when we discovered that Woolard was also gone.
Jackson to control. Second escape prisoner. Cell 72, Woolard.
When someone escapes, you definitely feel betrayed, belittled. You're trying to figure out whether you're going to have a job after today or not. What's your next step in life? What is your family going to do from this point on?
We gotta get moving. Come on.
It was later than we thought. If we didn't put the second part of our plan into action real soon, we'd be as good as caught. I knew it was real important to escape capture in the first 24 hours. That's when search parties flood the area around the prison. So my plan was to find a good hiding place and just sit tight till things cooled down. From a bridge over the creek, we ran downstream. No dog was gonna follow our trail now. After about a half mile, we crept into the thickest bushes we could find. If we could make it to nightfall, well, maybe we wouldn't be going back to prison anytime soon. JW and me had busted out of Mississippi State Pen. Now we had to stay hidden. We knew the cops would be everywhere.
Calling all units. 2 inmates have escaped from Mississippi State Pen. Roy Harper and John Woolard. Approach with caution.
That was the sheriff of Tallahatchie County, Mississippi. I got somebody that's called me Boss Hog.
You filling them in? Good job. Howdy.
We got the call from the Department of Corrections at Parchman that there'd been an escape at the prison.
They're not here.
Myself and my deputies immediately responded and began setting up perimeter.
And that's the way you're going.
The circle goes all the way around the prison.
Bring them in alive if you can. God bless you.
In the beginning, we thought we was gonna catch them pretty quick.
We were tortured by mosquitoes and the heat. It was afternoon
Did you hear that?
when we first heard the search parties.
This way, guys. Spread out. Spread out.
As they got closer, it took a lot of willpower to stay put and not make a run for it. We didn't dare move, not even a finger.
Unbelievable.
We looked everywhere that we thought they possibly could be. But they outsmarted us.
To make a clean getaway, we had to find us a car. We came to a house where an elderly couple lived. It was Sunday morning, and sure enough, they got in their car and went to church. We had a door open in seconds. Boy, it was like Christmas. A kitchen loaded with food. And then there was the guns.
Roy, we're in business.
Handguns, a shotgun, and a rifle.
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, we need that. Guess we're not going back. No.
After a week of sleeping rough in the bug-infested woods, taking a shower was like heaven. JW cooked up a meal. Then we waited. We needed that car.
That's a good job. Keep cover. Go in the back.
When they got back, I hid near the kitchen door. The old man entered first.
Don't move.
We'd found food, clothes, and guns at an old couple's home. Now we needed their car.
Don't you move. Get in here.
We got a call that a delivery man was delivering a package to an elderly couple outside of Webb. And he heard some moans and groans from the inside. Found the couple tied up.
How long have you been here?
Well, they were pretty dehydrated and they were up in age and it was pretty tough on them.
Now tell me what happened. Real slow.
Well, they took our car. And they took all my husband's guns.
All the guns.
Yeah.
We figure they're gonna rob somebody or have a shootout with a cop somewhere, and we just hope somebody don't get killed.
Agent Nielsen. Yeah.
The FBI will be called if there is some reason to believe an escapee or fugitive has left the state.
Okay, guys, listen up. Our day just got very interesting. 2 escapees, Woolard and Harbor. One's a killer, one's a dangerous armed robber.
I feel a huge responsibility at that point. You've got 2 very, very dangerous people that are on the loose.
Which means that I want to know everything about who these guys are. Their friends, their relatives,
former girlfriends.
We're hoping for a positive lead, some clue, a sighting.
I want an agent out to interview each and every one of these individuals immediately. Let's get to work, boys.
We're waiting basically for them to make a mistake.
We stole us some new wheels and headed north. Where to? We weren't sure. Just somewhere we could blend into the background. The idea of returning to the nightmare of Unit 32 was more than either of us could handle.
John, I'm never going back to the 32. I hear you're there, brother. You're gonna have to kill me first.
But JW was speeding, and just after midnight, everything started going wrong.
Roy, we got a cop tailing us. You sure it's us? He's getting closer. It's us. All right, pull over. Come on.
JW pulled over, and I handed him the shotgun.
What's up, officer?
Go! We're shooting at him! Go!
The blast must have just missed the guy's head. The van was pretty slow. Soon the cop was right behind us. Down and off-road we went. We swerved and skidded. The van got stuck.
Come on, get us out of here!
Dark blue van has crashed. 1033. Officer needs assistance now.
Damn it, just keep trying!
Suddenly, the van came free, and we were moving toward the cop real quick. We backed up. Now we were chasing him, only in reverse.
Westbound 231, shots being fired. Westbound 231.
This is about as serious as you're going to get in this line of work. You're excited, you're angry, your adrenaline's pumping through your body like crazy. One of the Indiana State Troopers was able to deploy the stop sticks. That's what forced them off the interstate. You could see sparks flying up as they were trying to maintain control of their van. And ended up in a truck stop. It's amazing that as fast as this is happening, my thought process really slowed down. He'd come up over the hood of the van, and I could see that double-barrel shotgun. I've discharged my weapon before. I shoot very well. Well, it's at a paper target. Much different when you got people actually shooting back at you. It basically came down to is it going to be, me or them.
The cops had JW and me cornered at a truck stop. But there was no way we were going back to prison.
We chose not to pursue them because the trucks were giving them cover in areas where they could possibly ambush us. Stressful, very traumatic, Nothing in my career yet has even come close to this.
Give me Indiana on the phone.
I wasn't happy that there was a shootout, but it was very good information. We now know that Woolard and Harper are in Indiana.
Just want to confirm, is everyone we have in Indiana mobilized?
We set up roadblocks, we do canine units, we put up helicopters, we notified the local people.
Good. Call me as soon as anything happens.
I felt at this point the circle was growing tighter and tighter. They were going to be taken one way or the other.
Calling all units. Calling all units. Possible sighting of 2 fugitives heading north along the railroad.
I had just started my shift.
10-4, ETA 2 minutes.
As I was driving around, I see these 2 guys walking directly toward me. I was thinking to myself, what if this really is them? And I was scared.
What do we do?
Don't run. Get a little bit closer. You distract him. I'll take him out.
We knew that they were dangerous. We knew that they wouldn't hesitate to kill us. They probably got about 100 feet away, and I looked down at their feet, and they weren't wearing any shoes. They had a bunch of clothing wrapped up around their feet. At that point in time, I knew that these were the guys we were looking for. A burst of energy came through me. I pulled out my gun and told them,
"Drop everything in your hands now!"
my heart was pounding.
"Hands up now!"
And I commanded them, put your hands on the hood of my car now.
Now!
I was just about to tell them to get on the ground when Woolard looked over at Harper and said,
I'm running.
Harper took his right hand off the fender of the vehicle and was reaching to his waistband.
You take a hand off of that fender, I will take it as an act of aggression!
And I will shoot you. And I said, do you understand me?
Do you understand?
And he said, yes, sir.
Put your hands on the back of your head. Interlock your fingers.
Once backup arrived, we secured Harper by handcuffing him. We then searched him, and we found a 9-shot .22 pistol inside the waistband of his pants. I realized then that that could have been the last day of my life. Capturing Roy Harper was probably one of the highlights of my career.
It was over for me. Man, that was a devastating feeling. I knew they'd send me back to Unit 32. I wasn't sure if I could take it.
I give up!
No, thank you. I'll let my team know.
The moment I heard Harper and Woolard were captured and no law enforcement were hurt, there was absolute elation.
Good news. We got him.
All right.
Good work. Fantastic job. Fantastic.
Woolard and Harper will return to Unit 32, and in my opinion, that's exactly what they deserve.
When 32 closed, I was transferred to another unit at Mississippi State Pen. While we were out there on the run, JW and I took some photos. I never did get to see him.